You'll have to scoot over.
Just tell my sister how proud I was.
Yeah,
Well,
you're live.
I got binged.
What you got to say?
What do I got to say? I don't know yet.
If there's anybody online yet.
What do I got to say?
I gotta remember we're backwards there.
I know. We're backwards and we're like a few minutes behind, so it's kind of echoing me. Oh,
Something to get used to. I just thought we'd try this out and see if somebody would show up.
going live. Well, today was interesting. I haven't done a blog and a vlog or however you enunciate that thing in the last day or two. Been having a lot of migraines. Went to the doctor today. Think I'm gonna like this doctor pretty good. She is figured out a treatment plan of sorts. I will. She's talking about Botox. I'm not entirely sure how Botox works with migraines, but it's not pills, which, medication pills and stuff has a lot of side effects that go with it. So we're going to try something different, barring the insurance covers it. Of course, always insurance covers. So we're having to wait for pre-authorization from the insurance company that it's okay to do this. But today, she gave me nerve blocks in my head, which was very interesting. What'd you say? 5 needles, about the size, the insulin size needles and stuff. Yeah, check it
There we
out.
go.
About 5 little needles, and she poked them in my head about 5 or 6 times a piece. So there's about 25, 30 little needle pricks, but it eased the headache, so that's good. It was interesting.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. And poking and prodding, and pushing needles in most places people couldn't stand around their head.
Even across the forehead
It
is
helped, huh?
wild. It's eased it up. It's I'm really tired right now, so I think part of it's that's part of the reason why the headache is lingering a little bit. But it's a lot easier than it was this morning.
Looks like we got 3 people.
Oh, cool.
Don't know who they are yet.
But it is October 1st, and I was just on Facebook and saw a post my sister had made, and I couldn't help but tell her how proud I was of her. I hadn't realized it's already been 4 years, but 4 years ago today, my sister was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she's always encouraged me over the years to be checked, because hers was found in a routine mammogram. Doctor suggested she had one because of her age. She said okay, and that's where they found her breast cancer had started forming, and so she didn't have to have chemo, but she did have radiation, and she was kind of doing a what do you call it? Walk. That's it. I had to think about what it was. The Susan G. Komen walk in Nashville. She was doing a little promo to say why and to support. It's the first one that she's done. I'm really proud of her. I mean, she's not good at revealing part of her life to people. Even though she's a life coach kind of thing, she helps people with their businesses and stuff. She's used to helping other people. So I'm very proud of her stepping out of her comfort zone and doing something different. She amazes me. But it also reminds us October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and to give a shout out to all those ladies who has battled and are battling, and to the families of those who lost their loved one. Because in our little community here, we've had several people, and especially women, lose their life to breast cancer. We've had several people diagnosed with cancer in general, but a lot of women here in our community that's being diagnosed with breast cancer, and it's hard. It's hard on the families. It's hard on the patient. It's really life altering, and for all those ladies who have gone through this and who survived, and those who are thriving now, I'm just so, I don't know. I guess I'm honored to know some of them, and I'm thankful for the Lord intervening on my sisters. I give thanks to the Lord for her coming through hers as well as she did, and others that I've known that have survived. I've known some who haven't, but it's part of life. It's a part of going on. I guess, well, I don't say, just if you're a lady, have them checked. Because this is the month to make it aware that it's something that sneaks up on you, and you have it before you know you have it. And you sometimes, like my sister, she didn't have any signs at all. It was just routine. What was it, last year or year before last? Something like that. After my sister had stayed after me to get checked, I went and got checked. And at first they thought I may have had breast cancer, but it come back negative. They did the biopsy in the whole 9 yards, and it come out negative. It was what was it, a cyst or something like that? But it was all good. Still something you have to keep an eye on, but it was good. It's just something to keep check on. Men can get it too. Did you know that?
No.
Mhm. They can. We actually have a gentleman in our community who has had it. Got treated for it. That shocked me. I wasn't aware men could have breast cancer, but they can too.
They went back quick today, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It blew through really fast.
For the ones that don't know, I'm a school bus driver, bus mechanic. She works in one of the schools too. You're a paraprofessional.
Paraprofessional.
Interventionist. I got off the bus. We got in the vehicle, and it was about an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes to the doctor.
Oh yeah.
Went through all the steps. You know how it is when you go to a bigger hospital.
Mhm.
Finally got out a little after lunch. Made her trip back just in time to hop on the school bus again. Make another round.
Oh yeah. Just been on those wild roundabout days.
We're trying the live stream. This is our second time trying it. Don't know nothing about it really. But as far as we can tell, it's working anyway. We're kind of watching ourselves over the side, make sure it's working.
Yeah, that's why I keep looking to the corner.
Well, we thought it'd be a good way to meet some of the other people. It goes to the Heartland Homesteaders page and small YouTube page. It's a good way to maybe get different names and different YouTube channels that we might be a lot alike. We live kind of like the homesteader, but we're not on a homestead. We do live in a small town. We do have city limits. It's a very small town. We have a little over an acre of property. Run a couple of gardens on it. Live more or less a simpler life. But we would like eventually to have a more acreage and a better place.
Oh yeah.
To really do more things.
I'd like to be out of town.
We can raise chickens or raise rabbits here, which we've had rabbits, but we'll have to try a different breed next time. But
I did not like our rabbits. They were cannibals.
that was hard to deal with sometimes.
They ate their young.
Mm-hmm.
That's not. I don't want something that's going to eat this babies after it has it. It's gross. You had to protect the babies from the mama.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't have to protect the baby from the mama.
I've heard different reasons why they do that, but hopefully next time we'll turn that rabbit pen into a chicken pen.
Yeah, I like that idea better.
Rework it a little bit. Expand our garden, hopefully. We've got I guess you can say, verbal agreements with a couple of the neighbors about property someday we'll own, but they're not quite ready yet, but they know what we want. We know what they expect, so it'll work out eventually.
Yep.
It's nice and hot here still. For the ones that's not in Tennessee, it's upper 90s. Heat index was 113 today.
I don't know.
At
It's
peak.
hot.
Which I use a weather station. It might be off a couple of degrees. It's not usually right on the money, but anything in the triple digits in heat index, it's rough. It don't matter what it is. It's still rough. I mean, it hadn't rained in almost 5 weeks.
Yeah.
It drizzled the other day, but there was still dust on the ground. It just kind of coated the top of it. It made the top where it wasn't flying, but you could kick your feet and find dust. It just hadn't been a good fall. We stopped planting our fall garden because it's so dry you can't put anything in the ground. It's clay ground. It's hard as a rock. Unless I get the tractor out, I'm not going to break it up. I can with a pig, but that ain't much way to plant a garden. It probably wouldn't live anyway because it's so dry. We put about 150 gallons in that trailer. I spray it back off in the garden. It's gone by the evening. You can't tell we ever sprayed water. It's so dry now. We really ain't doing no good watering other than just keeping what we got alive. We're still getting a few things, but it ain't nothing like it was when it was raining.
No.
Keep getting messages.
Yeah.
It never fails. We try to make a video, or there's always somebody calling, somebody stopping by, somebody blowing the horn for outside, wave, or it can be quiet for 10 minutes. We turn on the camera, there's somebody wanting something. It's good. I mean, it means you got friends and family that's thinking of you. But
I've had something a friend of mine needed to pick up. And she's like, "Can I swing by and grab that right quick?" And I was like, "Sure. We're on YouTube Live right at the moment. You need me to come out tomorrow?" I'm like, "You come on by. Just warn you.
she can come in.
Just warn you. What's shy? You can join us on live."
Yeah, she feels to be on the camera. I'm still not sure about this.
Hey, why not?
It's a unique feeling.
Very, very unique. I can talk all day long until it comes to turn that camera on. Then I kind of get shy.
Mm-hmm. What else happened today? Anything else happened good?
My son almost forgot to pick me up. We arranged it because when I have these little ugga days, as my daughter calls them, I didn't want to drive. I don't drive outside of our little town here. Actually, I say it's a town, not very big. So I might drive a mile, maybe. Not a lot of traffic in our little community either.
No traffic lights. No four-way stop.
Yeah. No four-way stop, no traffic light, little traffic.
One main drag.
So I wouldn't drive myself home from the bus barn. So I worked it for my son to be dropped off at the bus barn so he could drive me home. And he about forgot me. The bus driver hadn't told him to get off the bus, he would have forgot me. Blessings of being the bus driver, you actually can communicate with other drivers and tell them to drop them off. Because for some reason, riding your bus isn't cool.
Mm-mm.
Riding his daddy's bus is not cool. He has to ride the other high school
No.
bus.
I'm cool to the little kids.
Yeah, not to
After
the
they
high
get
school.
about, I don't know, 6th, 7th grade, I'm not cool no more. I'm the mean old bus driver then.
It is so funny. We'll get out somewhere, and you hear this kid screaming across the room or the building or wherever we're at, "Bus driver!" And I'm looking around going, who in the world? And I look at Brett, I'm like, who's that kid? Oh, that's little so-and-so. And I'm like, but their little voices will just scream, and it'll come up, this little kid, kindergarten, second grade, come up, and he'll high-five the bus driver. They send the bus driver. Mama, that's my bus driver. And their little voices just echoing through the building.
Yeah, when they get 11 or 12, they don't do that.
No, they're like, oh, that's the bus driver.
They'll go the other way.
He didn't see me, did he? Oh, hide my face.
Mhm.
But it gets quite comical. It's very funny. The tractor pull a couple of years ago, I about cracked up. We're walking across the track because we do the sound and somehow
Video.
I get talked into the announcing of the morning games and stuff. And I'm walking across there, and all of a sudden I hear this little kid scream, "Mama, look! It's my bus driver!" And I looked at Brent and went, "That must be one of yours."
Opposite end of the county, and they still found me.
And he looked over and he waved at them, and they wanted to come up and run up and say, "Hi!" They don't remember his name very often.
I'm just
It's just bus driver, Mr. Bus Driver, and they're so cute when they do that. Bus driver.
We also do the videos for the one-time tractor pull we have every year.
Yeah.
If you go to our page, we have tractor show videos and our tractor pull videos. We need to find one of the old tractor show videos and put on there.
Oh my goodness.
We're not having a tractor show this year, but it's a FFA tractor pull. But
It's October 19th. Coming up on us quick.
very quick.
Yeah, because y'all still got to finish the track.
Mm-hmm.
They have to do work on the track every year.
It's only used once a year, so
Yeah. And
everything.
they're trying to improve the
changed.
track this year, and they've rearranged some of the seating, and the parking spots went on sale, yesterday?
Yep.
They were gone by lunch. I don't even know if they lasted past 8. We went on sale at 8. I bet they were sold out by 8:10. They got arena parking around the arena where the pull is happening, where you can sit in your car and watch it.
It was Old Horse Arena, where they used to have horse shows.
Yeah. The old Saddle Club.
The Saddle Club dropped its county land. The Saddle Club let go of it, and the FFA picked it up. So now it's a pulling track,
Yeah.
place for the FFA teenagers to do several things. But
It's a great
the pull is the
fundraiser.
big thing of the year. That's their grand finale, I guess.
The pool is wonderful. It's sponsored by the FFA alumni, and the money raised gives scholarships to graduating seniors that are planning on going into an ag major in college, and it gives them a scholarship for their school. It's really cool. Brett being one of the FFA alumni, he kind of helps out with it a lot.
We're kind of dedicated once you become one.
And then also,
You got to keep it going.
the man he works with at the bus barn, his wife is the ag teacher and the FFA sponsor, so they kind of all
We all kind of pitch in. He
do
does
what
the
we
most,
can.
Him and her does the most of it.
Oh, they do all of it.
Spend a lot of money every year of their own.
Yeah.
Make sure this goes on for the kids.
They love the kids. And that's what she calls them, too. They're her
Her
kids. If you're a member of the FFA, you're one of her kids. Doesn't matter if you've been out of high school 2 or 3 years. If you were in her FFA, you're still one of her kids. And I like that about it. And she watches out for you. I like that. She's very dedicated to the children. And she teaches them. They do greenhousing and plant cells and
We got to
stuff like
build a
that.
greenhouse for too long for.
Gotta get past the pool first.
We got to get past the pool.
Get past the pool before we worry about the greenhouse.
We might have to have it there too to recuperate. It starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. We go home sometime another Sunday morning. It's either that many pools. We've got I think last year we had a little less than 150, but average 140 to 150 pools.
Well, the pool, when they rolled back the starting time for the pool, it's getting over now, close. Well, it's midnight, 1 o'clock.
Yeah. Early
Back
Sunday
when it
morning.
was later, before the pool started, there was one year we didn't get home till almost 2.
We have to ask permission from our pastor. Tell him we're going to be late or not make it. 'Cause we're usually not getting home till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And we got all our stuff loaded in the vehicles.
Yeah,
We used to pull tractors for the tractor pull too.
it's just too much.
We couldn't get it all home. It'd take 2 days to get everything back.
Yeah.
Take 2 vehicles and a trailer. Usually we wound up leaving the tractor somewhere down the road, buddy's house, and go back the next day and get it. When we took 2 tractors, it took the rest of the week just to get everything back.
Oh yeah. The year we took the MD and the C and the old, what do you call that thing?
We had 2 of the 2-wheel tractors.
2-wheel tractor.
And
2
10
of those.
tractors.
2 antique 2-wheel tractors, an MD and a C. And getting all of that, plus the sound equipment and everything else up there, took us 2 days to get it up there, and it took us 2 days to get it all back home.
It looks like we're camping when we go. We take cooler and food and way to heat water so we make coffee because it's usually cold. Some years it's really cold. Some years it ain't too bad. You got to have something to stay warm with. When you run the video camera, you can't just decide to get down and walk away. Somebody's got to run the camera because they're lining them up just as fast as they can get the sled back and get the tractor in and get the chain dropped on it in order to try to get the 150 pulls in before Sunday morning.
Oh, yeah. To make it quick and efficient. Because if you don't make it quick, then the people watching get bored and they'll leave. You got to
About
keep
10
it
o'clock
going.
and it gets ice cold, they're ready to leave anyway.
Yeah.
They start getting their vehicles and watching out the window.
Oh, yeah. That's when that spot around the arena comes in handy. You can back your pickup truck up and everybody starts piling into the back end of the truck to keep warm.
I still like to pick up and brings the love seat. That's
Yeah,
funny.
I love seat. I am really interested. We have
I got a
a,
blanket and a love seat. Cooler sitting between them. They kick back and relax and watch it go on.
we have a local area mechanic who he pulls 2 or 3, 4 different vehicles every year. One year he brought a vehicle with a boat. Did you put that on the
Yeah, it's on
website? A boat. It looked like a boat pulling
pole
the
and all.
sled. And
He put a fishing pole off of it.
it was hilarious. We didn't think he was seriously going to hook it up to the sled, but he did. And he's been promising he was going to come up with something even better than that. Of course, being that he's a bus driver, we joked he would have hooked a bus to it. I won't doubt that he won't do that one day. I seriously don't. If he could get his hands on one of the old buses.
The station wagon was a good one too.
Oh, yeah. He did a station wagon.
He mounted a smokestack out the passenger window on the passenger side, or the back glass of the passenger side. And it was hooked up. The smokestack was actually hooked up. No, it didn't pull very good, but it was camera worthy.
Sight to see.
We had a concrete truck hook up.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
I was really,
Road trucks.
I was going to say the road trucks to me were the coolest because those boys took that trailer down like it wasn't even hooked to it. And
What
the
two of
next
them did.
year he came back. They warned him that they were going to have a semi section or pulling group, and he came with enough weight to do
Actually,
an
hold on.
18-wheeler. And when he dropped that skid plate thing in my jiggy and it dug into the ground, he stopped one. But now that one, I thought he was going to take him on to town. And he probably could have.
Yeah.
He probably would have taken him on to town because they just made him turn off his engine at the end of the track. He ran out of track. He ran into the parking lot where the cars were parked, so he had to stop.
The old Chevrolet, the 50-something model Chevrolet that man brought, it had road truck running gear under it, on the back end of it. But they pulled up, hit the brake, and stopped at the end of the track. There was no stopping that pickup.
No.
When he took off, everybody knew it was over with for him. He was going to the end.
There was some of them, though, who should not hook up to the trailer. They break parts before they get to the 100-foot mark.
A little Blazer should never be hooked to it.
You know, there's been some that, well, the
They never took
area
off.
mechanic, his father, is a mechanic and everything. They're the local people. They do the tows and everything. And I look at him and asked him every year I asked him, did you bring the roll back tonight? Just to see if he brought his roll back to haul some of these that break their parts off. There's been some who's broke them so bad the truck is still there a week later, pulled off to the side.
And the exciting part of it's the diesel pickups, the 4-wheel drive Dodges and Fords. Occasionally you'll see a Duramax, but they're 3/4 ton, 1 ton 4-wheel drive diesel pickups. They've been tuned. They've had a lot of extras done to them. They're really amazing to watch what a pickup can do.
That's for sure. We have children pulling in this thing too. Last year there was what, a 13-year-old?
Well, we're 13-year-old half
Yeah.
drove.
And then no, it was a boy. It was the 13-year-old, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a girl, was 16 or 17. But they wasn't very old, and they done a really good job of driving that. One of them drove a tractor. Oh, we had a 10-year-old drive, 11-year-old. He's a middle schooler. Drove a tractor, pulled a tractor.
Okay.
The big John Deere tractor. No. Yeah, I think it was a John Deere.
I don't remember.
It was a big old tractor because he was a little bitty feller on a really big tractor. He almost disappeared on the thing. He drove it real good. Done good.
Well, we'll be lucky this year after the full Sunday mornings are roundup Sunday, so it don't start till 10 or 11 o'clock.
No, it's not. Not this year. The Sunday after is Daddy's fish fry for the Beagle Club.
So it's 21st.
Roundup Sunday is 27th. It's the week after.
We'll be in trouble then.
Yeah, we will. We
No
may have
way
to go
we'll make
second
early
service.
There's no way we'll get up for early service.
We'll have to make second service on that Sunday. No, the Sunday after the tractor show this year is Daddy's Beagle Club fish fry. They raise money for the Beagle Club, and
We get lunch, huh?
we get lunch. Yes. It's good. My daddy's a part of a Beagle Club. They rabbit dogs. And they raise money every year, and or every so many months they'll do a fundraiser, raise money. A lot of times they'll share part of the money with like some other group that's raising money. They just need a little bit to help pay, rentals and stuff like that they do. But it's really cool. My dad really loves his rabbit dogs. He's always loved hunting dogs. I remember growing up, my brother had a coon dog. And the coon dog's name, we called it Duke. Actually, I called it Duke the Puke. But it was like a rustic brown dog. He done good, I reckon.
They're worth a lot of money if you get a good one.
Yes, my mama has a diamond ring that says how well coon dogs can be sold. Because my daddy raised some or sold some or something. Because every once in a while she'd be like, oh yeah, that ring was bought by, and whatever those dogs' names were.
I see we got a couple people watching. Anybody got a question? Something we can talk about? We're just rambling, waiting for somebody to say something.
Oh yeah, I ramble all the time. As long as I'm not looking at the camera, I can ramble a lot better.
Oh yeah.
Looking at it, I have to see myself and Mm. Right.
It was amazing to see the hospital was on. The hospital was absolutely full of people. The parking lot, you just had to circle to find a parking space. It's still hot weather and there's so many people sick. It was a busy, crowded place to get in and out of.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's going to look like when the weather starts changing. You know, that usually makes a lot more people sick when the weather starts dipping hot and cold.
Yeah, it's really, it really gets to.
We're excited about next week, too.
Fall break. Yes. That
Fall
wonderful
break.
invention that school systems have come up with to let you out of school for a couple of days so everybody can
Relax.
calm and stop getting on each other's nerves so much.
We'll get to make YouTube videos, I guess.
Yeah, because we still got to make that tractor video we've never done.
We got that house to work on.
Yes. We will eventually start doing some more of the do-it-yourself home improvement style videos because we have a home that seriously needs some improving
We got 3
and
of them.
remodeling.
Include the one we live in. But
Well, I was leaving that part
you
out.
gotta divide the money somewhere, and there ain't enough money for all 3.
Oh no, we got
You can't slice it that thin.
we're hoping to get to work on this house we live in, finish our son's bedroom. We're gonna
We'll try to YouTube some of that.
we're gonna try to do some videos on it.
Building a loft upstairs.
Yeah, I said it's a bedroom. It's a loft. It's its own little section away from everybody else.
Get him a window put in.
Which he informed me the other day that he we have a couple of houses that we come in. My daughter lives in our daughter lives in one of them, and the other one we're planning to fix up for her to move into because it's larger. And I've always joked. I told Jess, I said, "Well, we got both houses at one price, so." I've always joked the smaller house would be Jesse's and the bigger house would be Samantha's. And the other day, I told Jesse we was going to have to get to work on the big house because Samantha wants to get moved in. We got to get it fixed up. He said, "Okay, we'll fix it up. Samantha can move in it, and I'll move in the little house." I said, "Excuse you, you're not old enough to move out yet, son." He was, "Yeah, I'll get me a job." And I looked at him and I said, "Well, if you want bills, you can take on your cell phone bill." And he's like, "Oh, nah." I told him, I said, "You got a house, you have to pay bills."
Yeah, he just thought he could move in there for nothing.
Yeah, I told him, "You were charging me rent,
Good
Mama?"
thought.
I said, "Well, yeah."
Good thought. Get your own house. Somebody else pay the bills. Somebody else take care of the bank loan. All you gotta do
Live in it.
is just live. It don't
Which-
happen, but it sounds good.
Actually, he's probably right. By the time we get the big house finished and Samantha moved in it, he'll probably be able to live in it because he'll be out of high school.
Mm.
I hope it don't take us 2 years to get it finished, but who knows?
DIY video out left and right, huh?
Oh yeah, it needs a lot of work on it.
It wasn't taken care of the last few years. Somebody lived in it like it
No.
should have been. Let a lot of things go.
Just got to do some repair work, changing out way they have the rooms laid out. We want to change it out a little bit. Not change it too much, but just modernize it a little bit. It's an older
Yeah,
model
okay.
house.
The air will flow better through it.
Yeah. Make it easy, more energy efficient. Is that what they call it?
We're gonna try to do that too, but we gotta make sure it's insulated good.
Yeah.
Go upstairs and see if it needs an insulation blowed in it.
Yeah. And as long as it's been shut up for what, 2 years now? Got to check the wire and make sure it's all good.
Our little house is. How old is the house?
Built in the mid 30s.
80 something years old.
Mm-hmm.
It needed a whole lot of repair when we moved here, and we're still working on it. We like our little house. Everybody keeps saying, "Why don't you move to the big house and let one of your kids have a little house?" We like our little house.
And we looked at them and said, "Why?" Our kids are, well, Samantha and Eric, when she gets out of school and everything, they'll
They
be
want
starting
children.
a family. They want children.
They want
Jesse,
them.
he wants children. And me and him, we may have grandchildren come by, but
It'll be an empty nest.
they just pretty much me and him in a couple of years. So
Won't be long.
we don't need the big house.
No. It's a
That,
lot more to keep
and
up.
I was going to say, it's a lot more to clean.
Oh yeah.
I struggle enough keeping the little house clean. I wouldn't know what I'd do with the big one.
Well, your gazebo will be further away, and the garden will
Yeah.
be further away. And
Yeah.
all the trees that we planted be
Yeah.
too far away.
And I'm just now getting this house the way I like it. I wouldn't want to start all over. This is taking 20 years to get this in the way I like it.
It took a long time.
And our solar wouldn't be over there. Nah. We'll stick with this one.
We like our solar power. I wish we could go full solar, but that's not in the budget either.
Not real
Not yet.
dependable on it, but
I'd like to go full solar and have electric cooperative backup. On the backup. Yeah, we're what 50, 60% there. First half pretty good. We just get the rest of it. Go in debt again.
I'm trying
Take
to
that
get it out of
plunge again.
debt.
It ain't as deep a plunge as it has been. So some people go mighty deep to get it.
Tired. It's been a whirlwind day.
Definitely been interesting. I've been on the road quite a bit today. My bus route's 80 miles now, I think, in a day.
I think so.
It used to be over 100. Cut quite a bit of it out.
That's good.
It's 80 something miles, I think, now.
Yeah.
I hadn't added it up, but there's a few kids that don't ride anymore in places I don't have to go. For the most part, that's pretty good.
Every little bit helps.
You ride for hour and 30, hour and 45 minutes. Well, about an hour and 30, 40 minutes in the morning, but the same in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Then we drove to Columbia and back. That was another at least 2.5 hours. No, a little more.
An hour and 20 minutes to the doctor's office from the house.
Most of my day's been behind the wheel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Getting around Columbia is getting more interesting too. It's becoming a bigger city quick.
Yeah, it is.
You live in a town that's so small, it don't have no traffic lights of any kind. You go there and there's stoplights everywhere.
Hey, it's not like the one I grew up with. I get tickled when he said there's no stoplights in our community. There's not, but it's where you live now, or when he and I live, is bigger than where I grew up, which is just on the other end of the county. My granddaddy used to, oh my goodness, he used to mess with people. He lived down the end of a dead end road. He was right at the end. And all the time, that little community had a lot of canoers. People would come down and canoe because we have a little river here that's very popular. And there would be people that come down, they would be so lost. And I remember, it's actually my great-grandfather. They would get so lost. And I remember this one story he told me. A person kept coming down, circling around the mailboxes, because that's all you could do, circle the mailbox and go back out. My granddaddy finally asked him if he was lost. The guy's like, yeah, I'm looking for this canoe rental. He goes, well, go back up our red light and look to your left. Guy drove red light. He said, yeah, there's a red light up the road. So guy left. He came back and he asked my granddaddy, he said, well, I couldn't find it. Where is it? He goes, in the red light. He goes, I didn't find the red light. He said, it's hanging in the tree. And he's like, no way. He's, yeah, you go back at the end of this road, there's a red light in the tree, and it'll be to your left. Turn left. Guy goes back up. He comes back. He goes, I can't find that red light. My granddaddy looked at him and said, sir, what are you turning around at? He said, store at the end of the road, on the left. He goes, well, I'll tell you what. Go back to where you've been turning around and see what the store's name is. The guy had been turning around in the canoe rental he'd been looking for. He did that 3 times before he finally, my granddaddy just looked at him and said, "Look, sir, read the sign on the store that you're turning around at." When my granddaddy told me that story, I laughed till I cried. It was hilarious. I said, "He's serious?" He goes, "Yep." Every time. He did it 3 times. He was turning around in the parking lot of the canoe rental he was looking for. He goes, "People just don't pay attention." And I looked at it and I thought, that was back in the 80s. Can you imagine what that would be like today?
I was just thinking, we did have a stoplight here one time.
Oh, you did?
When I was a small kid back, probably the late 70s, early 80s, there was a stoplight up here in town. They turned it on when they needed one.
That's what you call
It
a
was
small
dead most
community.
time I remember.
That's
There was
what,
no
you,
light.
that's what you call a small community. Well, I reckon we need to turn the light on tonight. Here you go. Let's
Yeah,
flick it on.
It was never on at night. They rolled up the streets and turned out the lights.
I always joke my little community. I told them you could lay down in the middle of the road after 8 o'clock and you wouldn't have to worry about getting run over because there wasn't no baby through there.
You have to knock the dogs out of the way.
But now we did have a gentleman in my little community. He knew everybody, literally everybody, because you did not live in this community that he didn't ask you what your name was. Ladies told me this story when she first moved to our community. She's like, I thought people were joking. They'd ask me if they met the man, and if I'd met the man, we're like, no, I hadn't met him. And then one day, he flags her down in the middle of the road, mind you. Gets her to roll her window down. He rolls his window down and goes, "Who are you?" And she was so taken back. Like, who in the world is this man who flagged me down in the middle of the road to ask me who I was? But that was just the way this gentleman was. And who are you? And she told him who he was. Oh, you moved in. Turned out that her husband and him became really good friends. And they started hanging out. But she said she'd never forget how she met him. He flagged her down and said, "Who are you?" Because he wanted to know who she was. Because he'd been seeing her in the community and wanted to know, he didn't know her. So he wanted to know who she was. Of course, this was still back in the 80s before I'm aging myself, I guess, a little bit. But it was in the mid to late 80s. But that's just the way he was. He knew everybody in our community. And he didn't recognize her. She stayed there too long.
Like we said before, everybody knew everybody. As a kid, you couldn't get away with nothing.
Nothing.
Everybody knew who you was, who your mom and daddy was. You stepped out of line, there was a phone call being made for you to get to the house.
They knew when you walked in the door what you had done.
You may as well fess up because somebody's been told on you.
Oh, wait a minute. In my community, I was related to so many of them. If I got in trouble, they fussed on me. Then they called my mom and dad before I ever got home, and they fussed on me.
Mm-hmm. You didn't get away with nothing.
No. I stayed at a friend's house. I could get in trouble, which I didn't get in trouble very much. It was very rare I got in trouble because I knew I'd get in trouble when I got home. But if I stayed at a friend's house, and they would fuss on me, and then by the time I got home, my mom and dad already knew what I'd done. I'm like, they ratted me out already? Well, so-and-so called me, I'm like, wait a minute. How'd they know? Everybody knew.
We're just thankful there was no cell phones back then.
Oh, yeah. Or video cameras. Nothing to capture. Well, we had cameras, but everybody knew because they were the big monster. They walked around like this if he was videoing something.
Photographic proof of what you did.
Very few. Very little. It's a good thing.
Oh, yeah. They think a lot different than a lot of us.
I was a good kid.
The wildlife.
I was a good kid.
Most time.
Most time. No, I was a good kid because I knew I'd get in trouble if I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that was just the way it was back then.
How sneaky.
Yep. There's the phone too.
You want me to go answer the phone?
I'm pretty sure I know who it is.
Oh, man.
Answer machine's gonna get it though.
We'll let the answer machine have it.
Yeah.
We know who it is.
I know who it is.
They have a couple people call the landline.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's me. Oh, We'll get it I'll call her back when we get done with this. My
Never
grandmother and my mom and dad are the only one who use our landline, so I'm pretty sure I know when it rings, it's one or the other. So I'll have to call her back when we're done.
She can't call from her house on the cell phone. There's no cell service there.
No. And neither can my mom and dad.
Even
They
though
have to go outside and do the the holding it.
and they're really not that off in a hole or really that bad of a spot.
There's just not that much cell service there.
There's just no cell service in that end of the county.
No.
Until they put the tower in this little town, we didn't have none either. But
No, you went on Cemetery Hill and did the, oh, can you hear me now?
go to the baseball field and stand on the pitcher's mound.
Really?
That was a good spot.
I never used that one. I always used Cemetery Hill.
The workers did out there.
Uh-huh.
Factory.
It was only with certain brand
Oh,
of
yeah.
cell phone too. You had to have the right kind.
You had to have probably had to have a Verizon to even call out of this place.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it's a quiet little place. Quiet little town most of the time. Something happens, everybody knows about it. They call each other. It still happens, even though it's got bigger than when it was when I was a kid. Everybody still knows what goes on because it goes around Facebook now.
Oh, yeah.
Cell phones and Facebook tells everybody what's going on. You hear a siren, you get on Facebook, give it a few minutes, you'll find it. Somebody have a picture of it or a story about it or
And you know the story's never right.
no, but
90% of the time, it's never right. Because you only get one side of the information most time.
they don't have to chase the ambulance or the fire truck anymore.
Oh, no.
They just get on Facebook, do it. It's safer that way.
Oh, yeah. A lot less people go to the hospital now to see what's going on. Yeah, that's if there was an accident in our little community, everybody went to the hospital to see how people turned out.
See who got pulled out of the ambulance.
Yep. See who it was. I remember I used to work at the hospital. I remember many a time, especially if it's a younger person, if it's a teenager that was in an accident or something. There were so many cars parked at the hospital that you couldn't walk. Everybody had to come. Well, now you just get on Facebook and find out who it is. Save yourself some time. Yeah. But it's getting about supper time.
Yeah, we'll have to wind this thing up for too long.
Uh-huh. Okay.
But I thought we'd give it a try, see what it was like.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we're new to the live stream idea. We're just trying to find our way around YouTube. Trying to find people that's like-minded like us. That likes the simple life and likes the homesteading idea. But
technology's here to stay. Might as well take use of it.
oh yeah.
Besides that, our kids will watch it one of these days.
If nothing else, we've got videos of a lot of things we've done already.
Yeah, because I could have pulled up the YouTube video I made the other night at the doctor's office to show what one of those symptoms looks like. Yeah. Because I'd vlogged in the middle of having a migraine. So I used part of what I was saying. I didn't have to bring that one up. I had another one on my phone already. But I have a vlog of the video of the migraines and stuff. So
I wish we'd have found out about the Heartland Homesteaders picnic. We found out about, 2 days before it happened, 3?
Yeah.
It's like, really, they need to go to that. But just wasn't prepared.
Yeah.
Maybe the next time. Or we'll find another gathering somewhere close by.
Put it in the budget.
Yeah.
Everything's got to go in the budget.
Anymore it has to.
Yeah. Might have to do one of those one of these days. How to make a good budget. I guess when I've stuck to the budget for more than a month or two, I might.
You could actually do a video about if you actually followed yourself. It's hard to stay on one.
I've done well with our budget. There's parts of it that I haven't stuck to as closely. So it's kind of gotten a little off in this last year. But when you're hit with those unexpected expenses, it's hard to maintain. So, but we may have to do a porch time or something like that on how to create a budget. Don't know about sticking to it part, but how to create one is really fun. I can do that really good.
Yeah, we have a good one figured out, but it's
It's harder.
the willpower to stay on it's the worst part.
Well, it's those little hidden expenses like the copay for the doctor's appointment today and whatever we're going to be out for the medicine. That's not something I put in the budget. I didn't put in the budget to go to the doctor and have medication. So there's miscellaneous funds, but I usually don't like using it for that. And our copay is not cheap, so insurance
Maybe we
is
don't have to go back for a while.
6 weeks.
Maybe we can stay away from the doctor for at least that long.
I hope so.
I don't really like going to Columbia.
It messes with the budget too much.
It's the most boring ride. It ain't that far. It's just boring. There's nothing to see on the road.
Blow my hair up.
I always did take that ride. I don't care. They've made it a 4-lane road on part of it now. It's
Is it?
still aggravating.
I mean, to ask my forehead bruised. Where she dotted me.
I'm sure it will.
It was bruised a little bit over here and over here.
Been stabbed there. I'm sure it was bruised.
Hit my head.
It might have helped what she did, but she wasn't easy. For a female doctor, she's pretty rough. I'm glad it made you feel better. Cool weather coming Friday.
Yoo-hoo!
You get up Friday morning, it'll be cold.
Yeah!
Compared to what it is right now, it'll be cold.
Yes! Excited!
It'll be like, I think 94 on Thursday. Supposed to get down in the 50s overnight. Like a 30-degree drop, 30-something degree drop. It'll be cold next morning.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm not going to put the windows up on the bus either.
Gonna play freeze out?
Yeah.
We used to do that when I was a kid.
It
Somebody'd
don't- I
holler
like
freeze
it.
out and we drop all the windows.
I
The
like
first
it
person
cold.
who puts the window up is out. They're chicken.
They put them down. I'm going to let them put them up. If they leave a bunch of windows down Thursday evening, they're going to have them down when they get on Friday morning.
You know that's bad if it rains, right?
There ain't no hope in that. We've had 5 weeks, no rain.
Oh.
I don't think your shirt would have got wet in what they called that rain the other day.
It had dried quick.
It didn't help the ground much, that's for sure. I think that was called a heavy sprinkle
I have a feeling this winter we're going to have a lot of it.
of snow.
Probably.
You wouldn't like getting out of school for snow, now, would you?
No. Oh, man. No, not me. It's really not. Yeah. I like it in January and February because we have such a long stretch there from Christmas break to spring break that we only have like 1 day out or 2 days out. And it just seems like it drags so slow.
Yeah, it comes pretty handy because they're in the building all the time. It's cold weather. That's usually when all your sicknesses start around and the flus. And
Yeah.
it's good to have a day or two off to let that kind of die down
Mm-hmm.
for the health of the school and the bus driver and the teachers.
By then, we've got our immunity system built up pretty good. You can tell the difference between a first-year teacher and a veteran teacher. First-year teacher catches everything that goes through the school. If it's a stomach virus, they get it. If it's flu, they get it. Cold, they get it. A veteran teacher has got that immunity system built up so much from having been exposed to sick children for so long, it's very rare they get it.
It is tough.
It's very rare they get what goes through. It has to be really severe for a lot of them to get it. They'll get mild cases, but most of our veteran teachers, when they miss, it's because one of their kids got sick. They very rarely miss on their side of it. Now, there's some that still they'll still get sick. But the most part, most of them they've taught for so many years, they've I guess just have like massive immune systems that a lot. It has to be something different or unique, like one of those weird flu strands that they will catch. Most of the times, they they don't hardly ever catch anything that comes through. But now that first year teacher, bless their heart, they get everything. It is rough on them. They haven't got their immune system built up yet. It gets rough on them.
Well, this computer we're trying now's working pretty good. It's actually made it through.
Yeah.
It's a hand-me-down from our son. We bought him a nice computer a couple years ago, and he hadn't used it. I asked him the other day, I said, "Where's that laptop at? We need a better computer to do live stream with." They couldn't find the plug-up charger for it, but he got the laptop, the box down. So I ordered the charger, and we thought we'd try this thing out. We've had a long session here.
Yep.
We've rambled on and on.
Ooh.
Yeah, Redemption Nations Church. It can be online.
Yeah, we need to hit that. Have
I'll
some
go
church.
watch that here shortly.
Have some
Enjoy
church.
that live feed.
I like watching that.
Wow.
Listening to the message. I wonder what they're talking about tonight.
Oh.
Oh, they're carrying their revival a little longer then. Because they said Sunday night that they would have
That's probably what it is.
have a revival, and they just keep meeting until they wanted to quit, and they must be having another one.
We've had I've seen up to 4 people join. I don't guess that's bad for our second actual live feed.
We'll get
I hope
retained
they
about
enjoyed
it.
it for a few minutes. We got a like. So somebody didn't know we're on here. We haven't rambled completely by ourselves. For the most part.
Why not?
I'm glad some people did join us. I don't know what we'll talk about next time, but we just ramble from one thing to the other and back and forth.
We have a lot of rabbit trails.
It's hard to talk about anything because we don't have anything really go over other than the garden and around the house because we don't watch television. We don't even have a television. We don't have satellite.
Turn
We've
those
got
things
church,
off.
we got the garden, and we got
Work.
work. Small town.
About all we do. Enjoys the blessings of the Lord. Beautiful sunset going on. And just the way things go around here. Just having a typical Tuesday evening. Hanging out, not doing a whole lot, and just enjoying ourselves. But I do think it's about time to go fix something to eat. I'm getting hungry.
It's time for supper.
We gotta learn to eat earlier.
Yeah. It's hard to jump off the hot bus and run in here and even care about cooking something. I'm sitting here drinking. I'm letting my shirt dry out from the nice, lovely bus.
And that's the reason he says it's hard to get off the hot bus and come in and cook. I found out a few years back after I had my second heart surgery and I wasn't allowed to do a whole lot. My husband's like 1,000% better cook than I am. Like, he can cook anything, and I can't. So he does 99% of the cooking in this house. Thanksgiving dinner, I think, is about the only thing I can cook worth a flitter.
We're going to cut this thing off.
Yeah, it's time for us to quit rambling.
Glad you stopped by and checked us out. Leave us a comment or a message. Hope you enjoyed. God bless. Good night.